Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. You see the title. Now, after a toxic, crazy experience with a narcissist, it's not uncommon, to feel confused, to feel dizzy, and to have that why question. Like, why? Why did they choose me? So I came up with a list of 30 reasons of why the narcissist chooses a person. Is it the all-inclusive list? Of course not. There's plenty of other reasons. But chances are, at the root, at the foundation of why they chose you, you're going to find your answers on this list right here. Okay? If you're willing to be open and honest with yourself, you'll find some truth here and it'll resonate in your situation. All right? So my disclosure is if you have thin skin, you might not want to listen to this list because it's going to point out some cracks that you possibly had in your foundation that the narcissist look to exploit. Because when we're talking about reasons of why a narcissist chooses someone, number one is going to be exploitation. Ultimately, this is what these creatures are doing. They're exploiting people left and right. All right. And if we think about a bully, even in elementary school, they're typically not looking for a challenge. They're trying to sniff out an easy target. All right. So there's something that they're sniffing out about your being and your essence that they find exploitable. All right. And I've always said, generally speaking, that people like this take kindness as a weakness. I mean, you can be kind and not weak, honestly, but in their mind, they don't understand why someone would sincerely be kind and giving and caring and generous. And, that doesn't make sense to them in the way that they see the world. But I want to digress here, but I just wanted to give you that food for thought and make that disclosure. So if you're really not ready to face the truth, don't go any further here. But if you're willing to be open and honest with yourself, let's continue, okay? So the first thing that I have here on my list is, number one, you were born into it. All right, so this is more so in regards to the parental or the initial caretakers, because narcissistic abuse happens more than just in romantic settings. I know that I address romantic settings a lot here on the channel, but if you watch my videos that talk about the initial narcissist, a lot of times it was one or both of your primary caretakers where your first involvement with a narcissist actually took place. All right, so number one, you were born into it. Number two, you were next in line. Now, we could take this literally or figuratively, okay? And I'm more so gearing towards figuratively in this one, but I'll go ahead and explain the literal one real quick because that one's simple. Literally, you were next in line. Let's just think about customer service, okay? And maybe you had to do a return, or you had a situation like that and you dealt with a narcissist and they weren't trying to resolve the issue. It was poor customer service. And because they don't like to take accountability, the customer is not right. The customer is wrong. So, you may have had a horrific experience along that line. But, on a more deeper note here, figuratively, you were next in line. I'm talking more about work situations where you got hired for a position. You were next in line. And unfortunately, your boss ended up being a narcissist. So that is definitely, a situation that can arise. And like I said, narcissistic abuse happens in all types of relationships and not just romantic, okay? So in a work situation, for sure. All right, so number three, they sniffed out your neediness or, your urgency for connection. All right, so, if someone is that in a place of desperation of really wanting something, how much more would they do to keep it? right? That's the train of thought that's going to come with that. So yeah, if they sniffing out your neediness and your urgency for something, and like, oh, this person really wants it. And like I said, how much more further would you go? How much more would you do to keep it once you feel, or once they give you the illusion of having it? Okay. Number 4, they peeped out your isolation or your solitude, or maybe they seen that you were the black sheep. Now, let's say you were in these roles and it was unfavorable to you. Maybe you were unpopular even. So if someone is finally on your side, psychologically or emotionally, what would that trigger in you? Probably something favorable to the person who wants you to see them in a good light so that they could eventually exploit you for letting your guard down for that one person that was on your side. Okay. Number 5, guys, you have money. That one's pretty straightforward. Okay. Number 6, you have connections. And sometimes connections could be even more valuable than money because you're giving them access to a bigger pool of supply. So even if things fall through with you, they've already made other connections with other people, right? And maybe these connections could help them in their career. Maybe they could try to use what your connection is, what you do for your work, to do something illegal for them, okay? To do some type of dirty work. Oh, this person works in this position. They can get access to that information and I can use it for this or that. So, you could even be their boss. So now, you have the connection, and trust me, they won't have any problem with sleeping their way to the top, or, getting you to have that inappropriate relationship with them to meet some agenda that they have, okay? So that's what I mean by the connections. Hey, do you work at a pharmacy and they want to get access to drugs? It could be anything like that, all right? Number 7, you have popularity. So now their value goes up through association with you. So, narcissists are very image focused. So, that one's pretty straightforward right there. Number 8, you turn the cheek too much. Someone does you wrong, you give them another chance to do you wrong here, and you run out of cheeks and you still turn them. They're just, hitting the same bruises and reopening them cuts. Like, you're just overly forgiving. That's a great trait to have with a narcissist because they want to continue to do that cycle of abuse over and over and over and over again. And if someone is willing to be turning the cheek like that, hey, they're going to have quite a bit patience for my BS, right? That's what the narcissist will think. So number 9, you have low self-esteem. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? Number 10, you make them feel better about themselves. You put them on a throne. You boost their ego. You ever hear someone say, you're good for my ego? Like, you're always complimenting them. You think very highly of them, which leads me to number 11. So not only are you good for their ego, but you've fallen for their false mask, 100%. So at some point of the relationship, the narcissist is usually able to accomplish you falling for their mask 100%. And that's typically in the beginning, right? That makes sense. So that's wonderful. If you fell for their mask 100%, they feel like they'll have you eating out of their hand because you believe they are who they say you are. And, they're highly manipulating you at that point because you don't know what's behind the mask. All right. Number 12, you have weak boundaries, or basically you don't know how to say no. And every time they ask you for something, you say yes. Why wouldn't you want to keep going back to that person? It's like a genie in a bottle at that point. All right. Number 13, to hurt a previous supply in some type of way. I mean, it could just generally hurt them just because they've moved on and they rebuilt the relationship with you. Or you could have a connection to that previous supply and they're trying to hit them in that way, like you're the friend or, some type of associate, or maybe you're like a twin, meaning, I've seen situations where the narcissist date someone that has in the same profession, and this person is kind of just like you, and then it makes that other person who, if they have insecurity in them, question themselves like, so they did all this to me and they were able still to get someone of equal quality, seemingly of equal equality, but we don't know what's going on with that person's mentality either, okay? Because what look good on the outside, we don't know what's going on the inside. So to hurt the previous supply in some type of way. All right. Number 14, you fell for the love bomb. All right, so basically that means you were easily impressed. They got your nose wide open, okay? And they were able to go like 0 to 100 with you and without pretty much any concern. You just fell, You took all the chances and you dropped all of, any skepticism. You just fell for it. And that lets them know that they're in. You fell for it. Number 15, you're super submissive, because we know narcissists like things their way or the highway. So you're able to bow down. You're basically having no voice at this point, and you're letting them, just dominate the relationship, whatever they want. Number 16, you are an upgrade for them. The last person they were with didn't have what you had. You're an upgrade, literally. You're doing better in life, basically. You're an upgrade. Better for their image, better supply, everything. It's an upgrade. All right. Number 17, you're generous to a fault. It's almost similar to the person that can't say no, but yeah, generous to a fault. You're just over giving right from day one. Whatever their need, you're jumping in and being that fixer, like right off the bat, like just right away. All right. Number 18, you're willing to put yourself last, or basically not even have yourself on the list. So at that point, you're willing to be the sacrificial lamb. Number 19, they got easy access to your life and to your resources. It's similar to number 14, falling for that love bomb. But not only that, you just gave them easy entry. Like they were coming to your house like within a week, and they were just learning about your bank accounts really quick. They know who you bank with and where your safe is and all your plans and goals, and like they were just finding out a lot of information and getting easy access to that very quickly. All right. Number 20, they see you as weak and an easy target, point blank. They see you as weak. And basically that's saying that they believe your emotional maturity is low, where you're not hip to it. You're going to fall for it. Number 21, you were grieving a loss, or you were like emotionally vulnerable at that time. And sidebar, you're emotionally vulnerable even when you don't have the right emotional maturity. You're emotional vulnerable, period. But grieving a loss, maybe you had a death in a family. Maybe you got diagnosed with something. Maybe you lost your job and fell on hard times, And then that narcissist came in and presented to be that emotionally soft place for you to fall, okay? Number 22, you're up and coming. So they want to get in on the ground floor because they see where you are going and they want a piece of that. Number 23, they needed an emotional punching bag behind closed doors. Someone that would take the emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse behind closed doors and sometimes out in the public. Number 24, they needed a physical punching bag. So now we're talking about domestic violence here. Number 25, they needed a sexual punching bag. All right. That one's pretty self-explanatory as well. Number 26. You were in a weak state as far as, maybe you were in active addiction. That person is not clear-minded, and it may feel like taking candy from a baby at that point. All right. They feed your addiction on one hand, and they doing things behind your back to get what they want on the other hand. But you're so busy in your addiction that you can't see what they're doing over here. Okay. 27. They were setting you up for some type of attack. Maybe they wanted to rob you. Maybe they wanted to steal your identity. Maybe they wanted to run up your credit. Maybe it was some type of revenge that someone else sent them into your life to get on you. Okay. Number 28, to trap you for child support, to secure the bag. They've seen that you were a good man or even a good woman, and you had a good job and a lot of assets, and they know that kids have to be provided for legally. So they set you up for that, to get that child support money. Number 29, because you don't have your own mind, okay? This kind of person is easily persuaded to do things with little to no questioning, because they don't really know where they stand, because they haven't really clearly identified that with themselves to be able to even enforce that with anyone else, okay? And then number 30, to destroy your life. To destroy your life and pull you down to their level. You ever hear someone say, they can't be happy for other people because they're not happy. People can't give what they don't have to give. So here we have a miserable narcissist, even what they present to the world to be happy and full of life, but really miserable on the inside. And here you are, happy, skipping along, jolly, might even be doing well in life, and they want to bring you down ultimately, bring you down to their level. Because if they are able to do that, then chances are you might be able to just stick around and tolerate that abuse long term or indefinitely, right? So to dim your light, guys, that's what's going on there. And I always say this, just like there's a source that wants to see you have your best life, wants to see you reach your best destiny, then there's another source that absolutely does not want you to have that, guys. And that's why we have to know thy enemy. And that's what's great about a channel like this. And hopefully you guys are becoming informed, all right? And I know that those were some tough things to hear for some of you who are stepping out of resistance and stepping into reality and really getting real with yourselves, all right? But at least, what we can acknowledge, we can work on changing, right? And I do help people with this. And if you're interested in that, you can visit my website, lakiacrawford.com. That link is below all of my videos, guys, and you can schedule your session with me and we can work through these things. All right. With that being said, guys, if this video resonated with you, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Over 600 videos here to help you increase your emotional maturity, help you understand psychology. I tell you guys to just study it, generally speaking, as well. All of it is going to help you overall, definitely, okay? I have a support group, guys, over on Facebook. That link is below all the videos as well. That support group is for survivors of narcissistic abuse. So if you're interested in joining that, make sure that you inbox me and let me know that you're a survivor, because I get so many random requests, right? And then if you know you have a suspect, look in profile, because maybe you're in hiding, you don't want the narcissist to find you or whatnot, you don't have a profile picture, you got a weird name, something like that, that would make me suspect. You have to identify yourself with me so I'll know, okay? With that being said, great ways to support the channel, guys, is to always hit that like button and leave comments. It helps push the information out into YouTube world. Channels like this need to be passed around because, it's more than just aimless comedy and goofing off. It's actual information that can help people be healthy and successful in life. So we need to be pushing content like this out, all right? And just keep lifting up global awareness of narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships, including the ones that we have with ourselves, and the solutions to helping that, turning that around. All right. On my website, guys, you can find out about other products that I have. I've written 4 therapeutic books that I would love for you guys to check out and be blessed with. There are ebooks and hard copies that are available on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles, but you can go through my website to get signed copies. I also have known art merchandise available there that's cute. T-shirts and caps, mouse pads, bumper stickers, coffee mugs, and you can make your statement against narcissistic abuse and have fun with your fashion. With that being said, guys, I do have a Patreon. That's where people can go and support what I do. It's a monthly payment that you make towards me, and you get some wonderful perks back. And it's a great way to get a discount on the services that I offer as well for your loyalty and for your support. So feel free to check that out. You can find out about that through my website and just click the link on the top. All right, with that being said, guys, thank you for all the love and support that you show my channel. And what do I say at the end of all of my videos? Never give up on yourself. Keep doing the work. And until next time, please take care.